showing you how to do the current ratio, the asset ratio, and the cash ratio. Okay, all three of these ratios are very important and they give us incredible insight into the short-term financial health of an organization. Okay, to complete any of these calculations, we need the following things. We'd need the current assets, the current liabilities, we'd need inventories, we need prepaid expenses, and we would need cash and cash equivalents. Okay, so let's start with the current ratio. And what I've done is I've placed these headings here to basically tell me what the formula is. So the formula for current ratio is current assets divided by current liabilities. Okay, and our desired result is 1.5 and 2. So we're looking for anything between the areas of 1.5 and 2. Okay, so what we're going to do now is let's look for current assets. So you can see current assets in my sample question is 800,000 and our current liabilities is 600,000. So I'm going to start by documenting it so that I have it here. And I go down and then I'll add the 600,000 while we're here. Let me just add the 600,000. Okay, and then we'll work out the ratio by saying current assets divided by current liabilities. Okay, so this divided by this and press enter. So you see we get a result of 1.33333. While this is a good result, it's not the desired result we want for the current ratio. We're looking for anything between 1.5 and 2. And this result that we've attained tells us that we need to go back to the client and we need to tell the client that their assets in relation to liabilities short term is not in a good result. It's not in a good space. They either need to consider getting rid of some of their liabilities or they need to get rid of some of the assets. They need to improve the ratio. There's got to be something they can do to do that. Okay, I think the best way to do it would be probably start with the liabilities. So get rid of some of the short-term debts, and then you should see an improvement in the result. Okay, now let's go to the asset test ratio. So you'll see that the asset test ratio is very similar to the current ratio. So I'm just going to take the information that hasn't changed and I'm going to put it here because we're going to need it again. Okay, the new information we'll need is inventories, which we can get here. So inventory is 300,000. And then prepaid expenses, we'll see that it is here at 50,000. So I'm going to add the 300,000 here. I think that is correct. Yeah, and I'll add the 50. Okay, now we have all the figures we need. Now let's work out what is current assets minus inventory minus prepaid expense. So I'm going to do that calculation on the left so that I can make sure I've kept the space clean. I'll say minus, and then I'll say minus. I'll press enter. You see get 450,000. Now we'll take the 450,000 and we'll divide it by the current liabilities because that's what the formula says we need to do. We'll take this 450,000, and then we divide it by the 600,000. Now press enter, and we get 0.75. While this is not the worst result, again, it's not the desired outcome we need for this question. So again, you have to go back to the client and say that, hey, I don't think that you have enough inventories. I don't think you have enough assets, or you can tell them that you think they have too much liabilities and it would be best to get rid of the liabilities. You can see that we're reinforcing the notion that we had in the previous, that the liabilities are too high for the organization. Okay. Now let's do the cash ratio. So we're looking for a result of 0.5 or 0.6. And what you do is you take cash and cash equivalents and you divide it by liabilities. So we know what liabilities are already. So I'm just going to copy it so that we have it here for convenience. And then we'll look for cash and cash equivalents. So that's 200,000. So I'm going to put that here just so that I have it for when I do my inputs. Okay, then I'm going to say equals, and I'll say the 200,000 because that's cash and cash equivalents. And I'll divide that by the 600,000, and then I'll press enter. And you'll see we get a result of 0.33333, which is, again, not the desired outcome. We're looking for anything between the areas of 0.5 and 0.6. What this means is that the organization doesn't have enough cash to carry its to carry its short-term debts And if it got into trouble, it would fall short of paying off of some of these liabilities. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to show you what it would look like if we had better results. So if we had, let's say we had less liabilities. Okay, so I'm just gonna, let's imagine our liabilities was 400,000 instead. You'll see what it does. That's 40,000. Apologies. That's 4 million. The zeros. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now you can see that when we have less liabilities, we now get to a result of 2, and that's perfect. That's exactly what we need. So just by adjusting their liabilities to 400,000, so decreasing what they owe in debt will improve the, which will put the organization in a better financial health position. Okay, now let's do the same on the question before. So I'm just going to copy this, and where I see 600,000, I'm going to paste it in, and you'll see that it adjusts. And all we needed for this was a 1 or higher. So you can immediately see that the ratio now looks better. And you can see that's the kind of advice we need to give the client. We need to tell them that they need to decrease their liabilities by 200,000. And that's what business advisory is all about. Let's do the same, yeah. So this, we just need to make this 400,000, and you can see that we're getting the result that we desired. We were looking for anything between 0.5 and 0.6, and that is exactly what we got. Okay, so I hope this helps. I hope this explains how to do the ratios and explains how to interpret them and how you can use the ratios to provide a client with advice as a business advisor. Okay, thank you, everyone. Take care. Bye.